Good evening. This is Eswatini TV News at 8, read to you by myself, Natilesi Tole, alongside Zamanzi Manzi. First up, let's have a look at our headlining stories. The Prime Minister says the Constitution of Eswatini provides procedures and provisions to be followed when amendments are proposed to invoke changes in the Constitution. The Office of the Prime Minister will submit to Senate a report detailing the arrests that were effected as a result of the recent unrest in the country. The Minister of Agriculture has launched the Input Subsidy Program and tractor hire services for 2021-2022 planting season. And now our bulletin in detail. The Constitution of the Kingdom of Eswatini provides procedures and provisions to be followed when amendments are proposed to invoke changes in the Constitution. According to the Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini, all Emaswati are custodians of the Constitution, which shall be protected and upheld at all times. Dlamini said this when addressing the House of Assembly today.
The Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini informed the House of Assembly that the petitions that were delivered in all the 51 Tinkundla centers in the kingdom raised concerns in two categories, that being governance and politics, service delivery issues.
It is prudent to remind the House that our Constitution provides procedure and provisions to be followed when amendments are proposed to invoke changes in the Constitution. We are all custodians of this Constitution, which was a result of nationwide consultations with Emaswati. No one should avoid these processes under any circumstances and resort to shortcuts with threats of violence. Some of the political reforms that are being touted by a section of our society require constitutional amendments and can therefore only be achieved if the Constitution is followed and all Emaswati are engaged.
The Prime Minister says he's aware of allegations of police brutality which have been raised in several instances recently.
Mr. Speaker, I'm aware of allegations of police brutality which have been raised in several instances recently. As Minister responsible for police, I want to assure the nation that these will be investigated and dealt with appropriately. Noteworthy, though, is that it has become common for protesters to intimidate, threaten, insult, and provoke police. It has become a norm for protesters to hurl rocks at the police.
The Prime Minister assured the House and the nation that government is alive to the concerns of Emaswati, especially in relation to inefficiencies in service delivery. He says government is equally concerned with the unacceptable rate of unemployment, mainly affecting the youth.
Police investigations have revealed that in the past days, the country has been under siege from insurgents posing as protesters who committed many serious crimes. Some of them have since been arrested and have already had their day in court, while investigations are still ongoing. Mr. Speaker, regrettably, among those who have been arrested are two members of this august House. We are aware, Mr. Speaker, that there has been talk that these members have been arrested for voicing out their political views. We wish to put it on record that these allegations are unfounded and the arrests are in no way politically motivated. We trust our justice system to give them a free and fair trial. For now, they remain innocent until proven guilty, and we cannot engage on this matter any further as it is sub judice.
The Prime Minister says government is committed to facilitate the creation of more employment opportunities for the youth while guiding them to fully utilize the funds availed by government to assist Emaswati entrepreneurs who want to venture into business. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Bulletin in Parliament.
The Office of the Prime Minister will, within 48 hours, submit a report to Senate detailing the arrests that were effected as a result of the recent unrest in the country. This follows a motion moved by Senator Mkhululi Dlamini on Wednesday in Senate.
The report, which will be submitted to Senate by the Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini, as per the motion moved by Senator Mkhululi Dlamini, will include the alleged crime committed, the nationality of a person arrested, the age and occupation of the arrested person.
Sasifuna ukukhuluma ke nyalo mengane. Nyalo sesizumela ukukhuluma. Manje ngeke sikhona ukukhuluma thina sikhulume ngalokuhleba nalokwendekako la ku social media nalala.
The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku welcomed the motion and further adding that the Office of the Prime Minister will furnish senators with the report, and if need arise, they will ask for an extension of the 48 hours.
Siyamukela office landuna nkulu President. Ibekeke kahle yakha. Sonke sime lapha nje ngivile livi lemhloniphe bahlonishwa abakhulumile liyashintsha, it cracks labakhuluma ngento leyenteke.
Other senators were also in favor of the motion, saying it will give a clear picture of what exactly transpired during the recent unrest.
Ngidivela ukuthi impoka kakhulu esiveni. Madam President, ngilomunye Madam President le ngiva ukuthi for the first time in my entire life ngibe traumatized ngalendlela le.
For now, Honorable President, and just to support the move of this motion, Senator Mkhululi, I stand here just to support him and say, can this motion be passed by the House of Senate, Honorable Senators, so that we can get down to business?
The National Commissioner of Police, William Tsinzibala Dlamini, on Tuesday, in a press statement, said 697 people have been arrested, including 2 members of Parliament, Mtutuz Mabuza of Hosia constituency, and Mtanden Dubo of Ngombisi constituency. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, with Muslim Konta Parliament.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Mangoba Khumalo, has officially launched the Eswatini Standards Authority strategic plan for the period 2021 to 2024. The minister challenges SWASA to be an internationally accredited organization so it could be able to generate more money and be financially stable.
The Eswatini Standards Authority's new strategic plan turnaround for growth for the period 2021 to 2024, which is built on the challenges and significant achievement of SWASA in recent years and is designed to position SWASA as the outstanding service provider in quality standards for competitiveness, which will allow SWASA to continue to develop its approach in a way that meets broader national priorities.
Sets out a comprehensive roadmap for transforming SWASA into providing internationally recognized quality standards and conformity assessments, services to improve business performance, and to also promote trade. In my considered view, the objectives of this strategy are to ensure that SWASA becomes relevant to the Eswatini economy, enhance standardization and conformity assessments, and is able to partner with local industry and the public sector in support of our export promotion initiative.
Eswatini Standard Authority Executive Director Mavela Vilane says the new strategic plan will come with changes which will have a positive impact on the company.
This is a strategy that is aimed at transforming SWASA from the current state to an organization that can be profit-making. At the present moment, we're a loss-making authority, so we want to transform into a profit-making authority. We have 4 pillars in this strategy that we're going to be driving in the next 3 years. The first pillar of our strategy looks at our core business system. Basically, that is where we are saying we want to eliminate waste and non-value-adding activities within our processes so that we can then get value give value to our customers.
Minister Khumalo says the minister believes that the council and management fully applied themselves and consulted widely in the development of the strategic plan. He further endorsed and pledged support to have it approved by Cabinet and its implementation. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Muzi Mkonta Ezulwini.
The Kingdom of Eswatini has officially shipped out a consignment of goods worth about 1.5 million emalangeni, which will be showcased in the Dubai Expo of 2020. The consignment was officially sent off by the Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Moses Vilagati, in an event held at Ceylon Warehouse in Matapa. The 2020 Dubai Expo, which will be held for 6 months at the United Arab Emirates, will have more than 192 participating countries. Eswatini will attend this expo through financial and logistical support received from the government of the United Arab Emirates. The first consignment of goods, which will be showcased in this expo, which have been made by businesses ranging from small to medium and large enterprises, was shipped out of a warehouse in Matapa in an exercise that was overseen by the Minister of Tourism and Environment, Moses Vilagati.
We are shipping products, various products from the country, which amount to about 5,000 units of products. And these products total about 1.5 million emalangeni. These products that we have in here are emblematic of the Kingdom of Eswatini's dynamism, its diversity, and uniqueness.
Speaking in the same function, Chairperson of the Federation of Eswatini Business Community, Henry Tam Dupont, encouraged all business persons in Eswatini to make use of such opportunities to market the country, such as the Dubai Expo.
When you travel the world, most of the world, you always ask this question, get these questions, where is this Eswatini? Switzerland or what? By doing such things, we are marketing the country.
Meanwhile, Deputy Commissioner of the Expo, Sibusiso Mnisi, took time to explain that businesses whose goods have not been transported still have ample time to prepare for shipments, as the Expo will run for 6 months. Julie Nixon from Eswatini Fair Trade Organization, who spoke on behalf of handicrafts makers, described the Expo as the perfect opportunity to showcase what the Kingdom of Eswatini has to offer.
The quality and the talent and the skill of the women of our country is astonishing.
Businesses whose goods will be purchased in this expo will be given all money that was paid for. Businesses whose goods will be purchased in this expo will be given all money that was paid for their goods. For Eswatini TV News, Hlengiwe Ndlovu with Mbongwa Dube in Matapa. The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, has launched the Input Subsidy Program and Tractor Hire Services for 2021-2022 planting season. Minister Mabuza announced an increase in the charges for both the input subsidies and the tractor hire services. For the tractor hire, the charges have increased to 270 emalangeni per tractor hour from 250 emalangeni.
The Minister of Agriculture, through the National Maize Corporation, will continue to implement the Farm Input Subsidy Program, which provides input to farmers at subsidized cost, and tractor hire that provide mechanized tillage services for the 2021-2022 planting season. The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says these initiatives contribute positively to the food security situation of the country. He says government has noted the challenges that have been brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic to the global economy, adding that these have resulted in escalated costs of inputs and other necessities required in the production system. Mabuza says in this regard, it has been found necessary to reasonably increase the charges for both the input subsidies and the tractor hire services.
Maize seeds and fertilizer, the payment required will be 3,500 emalangeni per farmer, and 3,500 emalangeni will be paid by government. For sorghum, it will be 2,000 emalangeni per farmer, and 2,000 emalangeni also will be paid by government. For sugar beans and fertilizer, it will be 4,000 emalangeni per farmer,
and government will also pay 4,000 emalangeni. The deadline for the payments for inputs is the 31st of October 2021, and farmers are urged to adhere to this deadline for proper procurement planning and ensuring timely availability of the inputs from suppliers. At a later stage, NMC will announce the dealers where farmers can collect their inputs.
Minister Mabuza says over the past 3 seasons, the country has experienced outbreaks of a pest known as the fall armyworm, which has devastating effects on maize crop. He implores farmers to ensure proper storage of the maize that has just been harvested, as significant losses usually occur as a result of improper storage. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Muzim Konta Mbabane.
The Emergency Response Council on HIV and AIDS Nature has engaged with municipality CEOs and town clerks to get their views on how strategies such as the National HIV Coordination Framework can further be fine-tuned so they can adequately address issues of HIV and AIDS in towns and peri-urban areas. Nature Director Kanya Mabuza says the organization is always seeking for ways of providing relevant programs and strategies.
While the Eswatini National Emergency Response Council on HIV and AIDS Nature has in place numerous interventions, programs and plans of handling the HIV pandemic in Eswatini, yet the organization's director Kanya Mabuza says ever-changing times and dynamics require the organization to carefully align its strategies with the current times.
We've got 2 populations that are near town. You've got the day population, which is people coming to town during the day, and you've got the night population, people now moving out of town, and most likely are going to the peri-urban areas. So then there is a need to talk with the children areas, which is Tinfuna, the chiefs who are working with the rural areas, and then also look at the mayors who are looking at the urban side. So given that, there's a need that we look at the role of the mayor and the role of the chiefdom. So that's what we're going to define today. Okay.
Representing Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development in the workshop for town clerks, CEOs and mayors was Gordon Mbuli, who also reiterated the importance of a relevant approach in HIV issues in Eswatini.
In the past, nature was concentrating in the rural areas. So now we've since realized that more infections are happening in towns. Therefore, I think our cooperation today will go a long way in ensuring that the country is HIV-free.
Eswatini is one of a few countries to have hit the coveted 95-95-95 target, which translates to 95% of the populace knowing their HIV status, while another 95% are on antiretrovirus, and yet still another 95% of the population who are on ARVs have the virus suppressed through adherence to treatment. For Eswatini TV News, Hlengiwe Ndlovu with Mbongwa Dube in Manzini.
At least 10 communities stand to benefit from a 250,000 emalangeni development fund that has been availed by COSPE, an organization from Italy that represents the Corporation for Development of Emerging Countries. According to COSPE's Richard Massimula, each community will receive 25,000 emalangeni. Massimula was speaking during a women and youth empowerment workshop held in Sitegi.
COSPE, an organization from Italy which has been in the country since 1999, represents the Corporate for Development of Emerging Countries, hosted a women and youth empowerment working with different chiefdoms from the Lubombo region. The organization will empower 10 communities with a sum of 250,000 emalangeni for community development. Speaking on behalf of COSPE, Richard Massimula says the goal is to develop most of the rural communities.
A EU-funded project implemented by COSPE is focusing mainly in training women and youth groups in the 10 communities of the 2 regions, Lubombo and Shiselweni, of which 7 communities are coming from the Lubombo region and 3 Tingundla from Shiselweni region. So they are training them in entrepreneurship, in business ideas. So whereby after the trainings, they have also to identify challenges.
Mage Kainsile Dlamini from Mambane says even though there is a law, the area needs to improve, but they are grateful to receive the 25,000 Malangeni from COPS.
Ingeke incane kakhulu kanti vele kunedinenge ditsingo tamamba incane le mali okunye kumambane kule dialogue yethu sinayo indzawo lenhle mambane u-rich ngendlela esimanga ekugcineni kwakhona uhlanganisa Mozambique, South Africa, Swaziland kude iborder.
Speaking on behalf of the youth of Mapungwane, Sibuso Mazia say they already have plans on how they will utilize the 25,000 emalangeni.
Le mali siphinze sibonge nje kakhulu ku COSP kule mali lasesichase ngayo. Uma ngibozivele usoyisukumela indzaba yemandi. Cishe nje nesinye isigodi lesivele imandi sesinawo sesikhongwaneni. Nanathi kule 25,000 sithi nje singabulala emabhodlela kakhulu COSP lasa sithe kakhulu ngale mali. Bese ibonile ukuthi phela emandi ihambelana nayo indzaba hygiene. Sifisile mhlambe kuyibambisa le mindeni le mithoyi ukuze kutokhona kungela lamandi ethu lahlandekile.
In the Lubombo region there are 7 communities that will benefit from the fund, while 3 will benefit from the Shisoleni region, with each community receiving 25,000 emalangeni. Reporting for Eswatini TV, I'm Linda Dlamini Temba Shabangu, Stegi.
Microprojects has started a 1,200-meter long fencing project at Galilei Primary School in the Shisoleni region. Elijah Dladla, who is the Regional Technical Projects Officer at Microprojects, says government is encouraging more schools to submit requests for funding to develop their infrastructure.
The Galilei Primary School fencing project is funded through the Community Development Special Fund under Microprojects. The Technical Projects Officer in the Shisoleni region, Elijah Dladla, says the estimated period of completion for the whole project is 2 months.
We're at Galilei
Community where a fencing project that we are leading is underway. The school submitted a request to the government that it gets assisted with fencing. This is actually one of many developmental projects that we do in schools nationwide, and not just in schools only, but in communities at large when a request has been submitted. The funds for this particular project are from the Community Development Special Fund. We are happy for the school that their request was quickly met with approval. Expressing his appreciation to the government, Galilei Primary School head teacher Max Mavuso says the school was turning into a grazing land for cattle. Therefore, this project will be of great help in protecting the school. We thank the government for microprojects. Our school is getting fenced, which is something that has been a great need for a long time now. Mavuso says his school will now be able to implement agricultural activities, including gardening and poultry farming. For Eswatini TV News, Sifiso Ngumalo with Smova Shongwe in Galilei.
And now let's have a look at our financial markets. Good evening once again. You're still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. The Minister for Sports, Harris Bulunga, says as a ministry, they support all sports bodies in the country equally and they are not neglecting anyone. The minister was speaking when presenting a report following a motion in Senate where he was asked to detail how the different sporting codes in the country are managed and among other things.
Following a motion by senators that the Minister of Sports should detail how the different sporting codes in the country are managed and the level and nature of interaction of the local managing organization with regional, continental and international governing bodies. The Minister for Sports, Harris Bulunga, in his response to the motion, among other things, he mentioned that the ministry treats every association in the country equally, and it's up to the association to promote their sport, and that they support all associations fully, more especially when they see that the program will help the youth.
Sports ngiko nje ama-programs awo siwasupporta fully so long as the programs siyibona ukuthi itawuletha intuthuko lethide kulowo mdlalo omusha, we do support onke lama-sport bodies njengoba ngishito nje ngathi am-31 la khona lesiwa-recognize-ako singihulumende through Sports Council onke kukhona la kutholako kule ngxenye yemali lesiphakelwa ngeyo iphalamende kude labasalela ngaphandle. Kepha-ke imali leningi kufanele bese batireyizela bona through soliciting ama-sponsorship at the same time nekuthekela lisito kuma-international federations naba-subscriber kiwo.
Senators responding to the ministry's report says the ministry should look at ways in which they can promote all sports in the country, among other things.
But I think it's important that the Honourable Minister, the ministry, looks into seeing how we can promote our sports, promote athletics, but not only athletics, but the whole sporting discipline.
Mina-ke bengikhathe ukuthi Madam President, unless ngimlonga understand. Minister, that's at local. This is how we code our sporting activities. This is how they are managed. Ngiyabekisa Madam President. Boxing Association. Siyasitshela le minister ukuthi how is the Boxing Association managed?
The minister says what is key in sports development is the professionalizing of sports so that athletes will be able to fully dedicate their time in sports. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo MC with Muslim Konda, Lobamba.
That's all for now. Before you conclude, let's have a look at our top stories. The Prime Minister says the Constitution of Eswatini provides procedures and provisions to be followed when amendments are proposed to invoke changes in the Constitution. The Office of the Prime Minister will submit to Senate a report detailing the arrests that were effected as a result of the recent unrest in the country. The Minister of Agriculture has launched the Input Subsidy Program and tractor hire services for 2021-2022 planting season. And with that, Eswatini, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is the weather update from myself and the team here at Eswatini TV. Thanks for watching. Good night.
You've been supporting us since we opened our doors, so we're here for you. 1,000 SPAR customers will win their shopping for free, instantly, with SPAR Rewards. Come in and get Nestle Cremora for only $29.99 and 1 liter liquid fruit. Buy any two for just 35 emalangeni. We're here for you.